Peace and blessings, power people. Listen, get in here, get in here, get in here. Where my business owners at? Where are my empowerment professionals? Those of you who are interested in bridging the gap between your passions and your money. Nothing can be more frustrating than being gifted with serving people, empowering people, healing people, loving people, giving your talents, your skills, and your gifts in a way that people are like, oh my God, when I worked with you, that changed my life. But it didn't change your bank account though. Get in here for this conversation. Get in here for this conversation. All this energy you've been summoning and gathering, all this power, all this creativity, all these Canva designs that you've created, all this stuff. Hey, I see y'all hopping on live. What's up? What's up? All this stuff you've created. We're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube. So shout out to my communities. We got thousands of people in both spaces. So yeah, all this energy, all this momentum, and yet and still your bank account balance doesn't reflect the positive impact that you are able to create in people's lives. If you've had that experience, or if you are having that experience, just put an exclamation mark in the chat box and be like, oh, okay, Tamer, this live is for me, because the 888 code is here. I have formulated a very precise way of changing the trajectory of your life. And when you feel like your calling is to be an entrepreneur, that is directly tied to what you feel your assignment is in your life. It's like a calling. And it ain't for everybody, because see, entrepreneurs, we need to hire people that feel like they need to be employed, right? So everybody isn't necessarily feeling that tug, but I want to talk to the people who are feeling the tug in their spirit and they're saying, man, I really want to know what I need to do and who I need to become to break through and create a lifestyle where I can be my authentic self, do what lights my soul up every single day, and it shows up in my bank account in a way that is validating the vibrational input that I'm putting out in the world. A business that is not operating every day is not making money every day. And that's different from, I gotta slave in my business every day in order for it to make money every day. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you don't have business infrastructure, if you don't understand how to organize and have an operational plan, have the right systems, have the right vision for who you need to talk to, your demographics, who is your target customer, who is the person who needs you most, and what are you saying to them, and how do you communicate that message in a way that they can understand what you have for them? How do you run the numbers and make sure that the numbers make sense? Right? This isn't about what the business down the street is doing and how they're doing it. You don't know how many mouths they have to feed. You don't know their debt to income ratio. You don't know what systems they're using to operate their business and what their marketing and ad spends are. Yo, you can't want the responsibility of being a visionary and then rely on what other people are doing for your own vision. How are you the visionary, but you can't see what you need to do in your business? That's why I activate clarity, momentum, and capacity in empowerment professionals, because we are deeply empathic. We are deeply sensitive to energy. We are highly emotional. So sometimes we need assistance and support. And how do we create a business structure that I can be my authentic self in, but not get lost in or overwhelmed in? Because it's easy to get lost and overwhelmed when you are a visionary, but your sight is blurry. So there are ways, to create a business infrastructure that is working even when you're asleep. Like I just woke up from a nap. See, I can do whatever I want at any time of the day because I own my time. Put that in the chat box. I own my time. I want to own my time. I can sleep in the middle of the day. I can work in the middle of the night. I can. And I knew that that's what I wanted. So I had to design an infrastructure that would allow me to have what I desired as my lifestyle. I hate sitting in traffic. I hate arriving to somewhere and somebody trying to tell me what to do and how to do it, right? Like that's not my dream. I hate having to deal with, workplace politics, or what they used to call the water cooler chatter and all of that stuff, and people being shady and shicey because they trying to vie for the position you got or trying to be the one that gets promoted faster than you. I don't want to live that. And my nervous system ain't designed to tolerate a lot of that BS. So I was willing to cultivate what I needed to cultivate for myself to create the lifestyle of freedom that I live. What needed to activate inside of me, and how I circulate my creativity so that even when I'm sleeping and taking a nap in the middle of the day, I can wake up to payment notifications. Some of you may know that as passive income. Put passive income in the chat. Put passive income. I see my YouTubers. I see y'all over there. Put that in the comments. I see you on Facebook. Put that in the comments. If you're here live or catching a replay, I want to hear your participation in the conversation, right? So, what do you need to structure and set up so that there's a rhythm to your prosperity? There's a constant vibration inside of your business that is attracting money every day. Have you created enough content? Does the internet know who you are? Are you Googleable? Take a moment after this live and Google your name. See what shows up on the internet about you and see what you are known for. See what's on the internet about you. See what you're known for. Put in Google the name of your business and see what comes up on the internet and what you're known for. If you Google, and you can try this with my name, if you Google Tama Aziz Serwa, and if you Google the womb sauna, you will see my receipts on the internet. You will not only see my website and business ranking on the first 5 to 7 pages, you will see my collaborations, which has taught me, by the way, to become more discriminatory about who gets to say they are aligned with my brand and my company. But those are things that we can talk about on 11/11 when you come into my 5-day business infrastructure training and masterclass on how you should be moving as an empowerment professional. But trust me, in real time, I have learned the cost of not being vigilant and properly vetting who gets to work with me. Difficult lesson to learn. It used to cost me a lot of money. It doesn't cost me anything anymore other than a little bit of attention to clean up and separate from misaligned relationships in the marketplace, right? So listen, there are certain things you have to have in place in the infrastructure of your business in order for it to generate money every day. You can't just be chanting, I get paid every day, and you don't have a business infrastructure that can produce that. The people who are getting paid every day, they understand what digital currency is. They understand what social media currency is. They understand that marketing campaigns are not optional and just when you feel like it. They understand that they need technology that streamlines certain things. They understand that they need a team, that they shouldn't be the only OOO, only operating officer, that they have to have people that work inside of that company who understand the vision and can do the things that they are not a genius in. They understand what to outsource and how to not waste time, resources, or money trying to do everything yourself that you know you are not good at. If you're not good at sending email instructions to your clients so they can be prepared for their sessions and meetings with you, then you need to outsource that. That's why everybody who is a client of mine knows Karen, because Karen is my executive administrative assistant and she sends the preparation emails because that's not something that lights my soul up. Right? It is something that I have the skill set to do, but it's not my genius. It's not what I'm really here to be. It's not that thing that makes me say, oh, I got to sit down and do this. I want to do this, right? So it's important. It's really important that you take a look at what your vision is, but that you also figure out who you need to become and what you need to set up in order for that vision to be real. Nothing is more frustrating for an empowerment professional than really having a big dream and no clarity on how to make it real. Oh, you want to experience depression? Have a big dream and no clear path. No step 1, step 2, step 3 on how to make it real. But I want you to have what's real. I do. I do. I want you to have what's real. Put in the chat box, I want what's real. I want the manifestation. To put one word, put manifest in the chat. Manifest. I'm getting exhausted, God, with just wishing and hoping. I need the actions to match my faith. I need the actions to line up. I need it to match. I'm tired of just dreaming about it and getting all these downloads of potential and what's possible. I actually need what's real, and I am capable. Put in the chat box, I am capable. Put in the chat, I can and I will. Because you will. But you got to start focusing on alignment over achievement. See, I know what happens in these coaching spaces, and there's a lot of people who are making a lot of money off of giving you sensationalized knowledge. They make you feel good about your vision, but they don't give you an infrastructure in your business that can sustain it. So they'll get you the website, or they'll get you the forms in place, or they'll get you these different things, but they actually don't teach you how to operate your vision. This is why my 5-day business infrastructure training is not about telling you what to do as much as it's about giving you the space to get it done. It is a virtual work clinic. Dock up. Let's get your time management in order. Let's get your marketing techniques refined. Let's get your budget in place and in order. That's how we move, and that's what we're doing. That's how we're getting things done. And I'm so proud of my alumni. Some of my alumni are coming back in this round, and we are almost full and sold out for capacity. Because this is a virtual work clinic, I do only allow a certain number to enroll at a time in this training, because we are working in real time for 5 days. And I don't want anybody getting lost in the work, because there's too many people in this process at a time. Right? So if you're an empowerment professional and you've been feeling lost, you're trying to clarify your vision, you're trying to get things organized and in order for 2025, then you need to get in here. We start 11/11. That's intentional. You have until 11/1 to get the price where it's at. After that, it goes up. And you'll need to invest more to be in this process. Okay, so yeah, this is a real thing. And I'm happy that my alumni, and some of them have been just chiming on the promotions that are happening on the gram and on Facebook, saying, no, look, if you haven't taken Tamer's 888 code, like, it will change your life and how you operate. And I am grateful to all of the teachers I've had throughout the years. I've been a full-time entrepreneur for 12 years. For some of you who may be new to me and my energy and why I even am qualified to teach this. I'm grateful for all of my teachers, but I got to be honest, some of them weren't understanding that I was having a lifestyle issue that was affecting my success. If you understand what I just said, put an exclamation mark in the chat box. I was having a lifestyle. It wasn't that anything was broken in my marketing vision, systems. I was having a lifestyle issue. I needed help being activated and showing up to work my vision. I had no problem visualizing. I had no problem finding out how to connect the dots. I couldn't turn on the on button though. And that was the problem. I couldn't fully activate the machine and get things rolling because of what was happening in me internally and the anxiety and fears that I let govern my life. You know, my philosophy is that there's really only two paths in life. You're either living on the path of fear or the path of love. It really doesn't matter what stage of business you're in. It doesn't really matter what your age is or your ethnicity, none of that, what your current income level looks like. When I started the womb sauna 12 years ago, I ain't had no money to start this business. I had enough passion and capacity to start working it though. And I learned how to take nothing and turn it into something. I learned how to take a penny and turn it into $1,000. I learned how to take $1,000 and turn it into $500,000. Right? So, you know, you got to really get clear with yourself about the story you tell, because whatever you tell, you must live. And so there's a difference between I have a vision, I have a pretty website, I have pretty graphics, I've set up payment processing systems, I've set up an EIN, I filed my paperwork with my state and got the necessary business licenses. But is the on button turned on to really embody this? To turn all of these things on and be consistent in a way that's sustainable and allows you to own all of your time and still handle your financial responsibilities, be able to run the events and close them in the green and not the red, be able to figure out how to properly vet, qualify, onboard, train the right staff, figure out how to not keep the operating budget high, because you know when you need people working and when you need to take breaks and just work some things yourself. You got to learn some things. And I really believe the only way to learn how to do business is to do business. Excuse me. My sinuses are still draining from my trip to Phoenix, Arizona. That dry heat is something else. It tore my sinuses up. So That the dry heat and the pollen. One of the locals in Phoenix that I met, he was like, yeah, the pollen count is really, really high right now, but I digress. So listen, you really, really don't know what you don't know until you do. So if what I'm saying is resonating with you, let's take a look at it and let's do something about it. Awareness is one thing, but action, you cannot change anything about your life right now without action. You have to take action. You have to think the right thoughts that align with the vision you're holding for your lifestyle. Then you have to make the right choices, right? You got to make the right choices. And then you got to take the right actions. So everything, the lifestyle you have right now, the amount of money in your bank account, the amount of activity or non-activity that is happening in your business right now is a direct reflection of your thoughts, your choices, and your actions. Put in the comment section, it's all on me. And for some of you, that may make you nervous a little bit because you're like, well, damn, I don't have what I want. I'm not experiencing what I desire. But does it profit you to blame anybody else for what your life looks like right now? Or is the power position to actually say, well, if I created it, I can uncreate it. This is my life, not somebody else's. Nobody else is forcing you to work the job you're working at, the pay you're working. Nobody's forcing you to not believe in yourself. Nobody's forcing you to be mediocre in your implementation of the training and knowledge you have been given. Nobody is forcing you to do any of these things. Nobody's forcing you. Every day, you make a series of decisions that reflect whether or not your business is open and operating at a high level or not. I'm going to say it again, because sometimes when I go live, I get feedback that I'll be talking a little fast, and people like to take notes because I'm a thorough teacher, and I'll say things that if you are listening will actually activate you just by hearing it. Nobody is forcing you to live the life that you're living. Nobody is deciding whether or not your business is open, operating, and operating at a high level, but you. The choices, the series of choices that you make each day are showing you if your business is open and operating at a high level or not. That's something that you should feel empowered by because, again, you are sovereign in your life. You are the creator of the next moment, the next outcome, the next day. So you get to place yourself as the sole authority of your success. You get to own the responsibility of your success and decide that you will win, that you can and you will. Put that in the chat. I can and I will. You are capable. And my students who go through this 5-day infrastructure training with me, they discover in this virtual work clinic what they are actually capable of. But I get sad when I watch entrepreneurs who are dedicated and committed to trying to win and they're operational. But man, I see what people be spending for their operational budget. And it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me how much they are spending to try to make it pretty. And like they spend too much money on superficial things that don't really matter at the end. Perfect example of this, and y'all can relate to this. Y'all remember there was a day when we went before inflation when you could go into any retail store or grocery store and get plastic bags. And they were spending all this money on plastic bags, and all of a sudden the economy changed and you getting in brown paper bags and you got to pay for them. It was like, I remember when that first shifted. Put a laughing emoji in the chat box if you know what I'm talking about. I remember when that first shifted. And I was in the grocery store and I saw nothing but brown paper bags. And I'm like, where are the bags to get my stuff? And the guy was like, oh, they over there and they're 10 cents a pop. I said, what? But even these big major corporations have to shift and recognize where they're depleting their resources and their money that's coming in. Right? So I see so many entrepreneurs just draining their revenue because of their operational budget. You're spending too much to operate this business in a technology age, in the AI era. It don't even make sense to be paying for some of the things you're paying for. Why are you paying somebody $25 an hour to do something in a way that's not creating more cash flow? You gotta run them numbers. You gotta create an infrastructure that allows the business to remain operational at a high level and move cash flow and bring in those dollars and cents, those real dollars and cents every day. Every day should be your payday. Put that in the chat. Every day is my payday. You don't have to wait 2 weeks for your money. When you are a creator, when you have knowledge that people would pay for, when you have an expertise, when you have products that you could be selling, why are you waiting for money? Why are you borrowing money out of your retirement funds to survive when you are full-blown, powerful creator? What sense is that? There are other ways to survive, and there are other ways to thrive. There is an experience for you that is bigger than survival mode. Imagine that. And then after you're done imagining that, master creating it and living it for real. It's one thing to talk about a thing. It's another thing to actually be that thing. It's one thing to talk about a thing. It's a whole other thing to actually be that. To actually be the one that can post screenshots of your daily receipts, showing that money is flowing and moving every single day. To show yourself. Even yesterday, I was having time with my beloved, and we weren't meeting until after I had to take care of some other stuff. So it was the afternoon. And he was out and about handling his empire. And I was handling my empire too. In my PJs. In the middle of the afternoon, he finally showed up. I said, oh, babe, give me a second. I got to take a shower, get this bonnet off my head. Like, I've been chilling. He says, you ain't got to do none of that for me. I said, no, I'm doing it for me. Went, took my shower, changed my clothes. It was the afternoon. I remember the days that I had to, begrudgingly turn off the alarm and rush through traffic and don't be 5 minutes late, I'm going to dock your pay and all that energy. Like, whoo, I've been out of that energy for so long. I feel like I'm unemployable because who are you to tell me when I've spent over a decade owning my time what to do with my life? This is my life. I only get one at a time. Well, in theory, because I'm starting to read and study about quantum entanglement and multidimensional living and stuff. But y'all, I digress. That's a different live. But my point is, like, if I give that company 10 years to their dream, what happens to mine? And for those of you who are in the practice of journaling, I really want you to create a sacred moment for yourself to write that question down and answer it. Get very honest with yourself about where your time is going and how that is affecting your ability to live your dream. How is it affecting what you're able to say you can get done? In 5 days, I create miracles for people that's been stuck and I show them what they're made of. They don't have no choice because we literally are docked up and working. We're getting stuff done. And they're like, damn it, in Tamer's AAA code, I did in 5 days what I've been trying to do in 5 years. Yeah, I know. Everything is vibrational. Everything is vibrational. And I'm anointed. Like, it's my gift from God. I launched my first business at 6. I know where the money is, and I am where the money resides. Wealthy people, they don't sit back and say, oh, I can't get nothing done because I ain't got no money. Nah, wealthy people say, I want that. So what will I do to have it? That's the difference. I was talking to one of my sisters yesterday, and she was like, I don't know, Tammy, if I'm going to be able to come into the round of 888 code because I got so much going on in my life. And, I just want to make sure I could be fully present. I said, I absolutely understand that. And I said, so you get to decide when you set the timer on really manifesting your business and opening up its doors. So when you going to set the timer? When are the affairs of your life going to be so perfectly aligned that now you can do it? Like, you decide. And as we were talking about it, she said, you know what, Tamer? That's a good point. Like, what I know, I've lived long enough to know it's always going to be something. It's not like my life is going to clear of all adversity and suddenly nothing's going on and I have the ability to, do the class. She's like, I got to decide what I'm ready to sacrifice, what I focus on every single day. Yeah, that's how this works. It's not that your business is the issue. Your vision is the issue. Your vision is not the issue. It's that you haven't fully activated to make it real. You need help with the activation. Because that other stuff can be easily fixed in a day. Logo designs, website stuff, email campaigns, landing pages. That stuff is easy to fix. Hold on one second. Zariel. My child is country. She calling her daddy. And Zariel, that's too loud. Sorry. Okay, tone it down. Turn your phone down. Mothering moments. But see, this is the other thing. Because, like, I can live how I want to live. I can work how I want to work. I can talk to my child in the middle of the live and not feel no type of way because nobody is paying me but me and my creativity. Right? So these are the types of things that I want every empowerment professional to be able to have available to them. I want you to be able to do what you want to do and monetize yourself. Put I am monetized in the chat. I am monetized. You are where the money resides. And if you learn how to fully activate and make the necessary decisions and take the necessary steps, then the foundation becomes laid and there are no cracks in it. And you have something solid and reliable to stand on. But don't get mad when the person that starts behind you starts passing you because you couldn't activate it and it looks like everybody around you was able to do it but you. Look at yourself. I got to a point where I was like, you know what, I'm spending too much energy trying to find the answer for what's going on inside of me, outside of me. Tamer, stop, sit with yourself, meditate, walk through your own brain, Figure out what's really going on inside of you that's keeping you from showing up for your own dream every single day. Not 24 hours passes and has not for 12 years straight. I have not let 24 hours pass where I am not seeding and fueling my own dream for my life. And that's why the dream has rewarded me with a free lifestyle, because I show up for the womb sauna, and the womb sauna reciprocates and shows up for my life and takes care of it. A business that is not operating every day is not going to make money every day. It's not open for business. And I don't care how many times you chant, I get paid every day. Like, you need, and I'm not talking about business hours. I'm talking about your structure of your business, how you've organized how things occur, and how you organize the success. That's what you need support with. And that's why the 888 code exists. And in 5 days, put 5 in the chat box. I'm in that. This is why, put 5 in the chat box, put 5 in the chat box, put 5. 5 in many spiritual perspectives is the number of joy. Put 5 in the chat. Listen. One of my favorite quotes from A Course in Miracles says that the greatest miracle you can ever experience in your life, it's not looking at your broken arm and mind mapping it back together. No, the greatest miracle that you could ever experience in your life is to see yourself correctly. Woo! Come on. So some of you are saying your life path number is 5. I love it. I love it. The greatest miracle is in me, my self-perception. How many years have you had this dream of success, but spoken and said, I'm not ready, I'm not capable, I can't? I teach you how to cancel out that energy in 5 days and reprogram your subconscious, your conscious, and your superconscious minds, and reharmonize them through doing the work. To be in my orbit, in my frequency, you got to be doing the work. I'm not for the people who want to talk about the work, but not do it. So if you've been struggling doing what it takes to have your business operating in a way that cash flow is moving through it every single day, yeah, come join me 11/11. Give me 5 days. Give me 10 concentrated focus hours. 10 is the number of mastering a thing. I will activate in you a level of self-mastery that will pour through your business. And you will see the miracle of starting to make revenue right away, because I promise you, it's simply vibrational. This is why I am called the spiritual business strategist and have been for years, because I teach the spiritual principles, and I'm an ordained interfaith minister. So it doesn't matter what tradition, Christian, Buddhist, Hindu, like I can speak all these languages. I'm a very, very, very old soul and very, very well educated spiritualist, right? So I teach you the spiritual principles that align with your belief system, the universal laws of nature and God that will activate you. I even teach you daily self-care hacks to keep your momentum intact and all these different things in the 888 code. You need it. You don't just need to know. Once you get you together, once you reframe some of these things, all of the stuff that you've learned and invested in throughout years will make sense, and you'll have the capacity to implement. But the reason why you're struggling with your capacity and the reason why you're struggling with burnout and exhaustion is because you actually are not activated. The on switch has not turned on. And my specialty and my expertise is turning the power on switch. I turn that on in people. Go to the testimonial tab at thewombsauna.com and you'll see what I mean. There are thousands of testimonials on the World Wide Web about me activating people in their power. And it produces physiological, emotional, psychological, and spiritual miracles, tangible, measurable results in their lives. Some of you in the live right now are already enrolled. You already know you just feeding on the energy because this, every time it goes live, she got some medicine for the people. So yeah, 888 code. 8 is the number of infinite abundance. I am trying to give you a business infrastructure that activates in your lifestyle perpetual overflow, perpetual abundance. Money is never the reason that you have failed. I have closed events in the red. It didn't close the doors of my business though. And wealthy people tell you that. A lot of wealthy people filed bankruptcy and all of that because it's available. You can do that sometimes. And sometimes that opens another door. But me, I ain't never had to do that. I ain't never had to file bankruptcy or any of those things. But yeah, I haven't succeeded in every venture I've done. But I fail mindfully. And I monetize my failures. Or as Florence Scovel-Shinn says, I baptize every event as success, every experience as success. It all serves me well because I sit in the seat of the sovereign key decision maker in my life. I'm not so insecure that I got to rely on other people's knowledge to figure out what to do with my own life next. If chaos is something that I create in my life, guess what Tamer does? What I do is I sit within myself to assess why I would create chaos and what I will do to reestablish order because I am the Empress. I'm not just the queen, even though my name Tamer literally translates to queen. I am the Empress. I have established multiple kingdoms. I have multiple streams of income. My company is a place where everything a woman needs to be whole and healthy and vibrant and prosperous, she can find it here. And I was intentional about building an empire and not just a queendom. And I had to grow myself and my capacity to be able to handle what I tasked myself with through my own vision. How do I know that I tasked myself with my own vision? Because what I do every day really lights my soul up and brings me joy. I'm really happy about how I live and what I'm able to do through my company. I'm happy about God Medicine and our product line and the fact that I'm intentionally only hiring women to manufacture this product line in India because I want to participate in empowering women in India's economy. Because in that country, women struggle because of misogynism and other things to gain economic power. So see, I'm a global influencer. I don't do regional business. I do international business. And even at that level, I'm intentional and mindful about how I want my brand and my energy utilized. I'm intentional about it. And so the women and children that work for God Medicine not only manage the growing of our herbs on 5 different farms in 5 different countries and make sure that they are harvested ethically and with intentionality, and they package and they label and they do all of it. And they're teaching their children. The children are with them, learning this. This is how we birth out God medicine. My product line is putting money directly in women's hands in a country where it usually has to pass through men's. See, when you get to start, this is what I mean when I say the only way to learn how to do business is to do business. You get to certain levels, you got to really get clear on some things about how you want to move and how you want your company to participate in the shaping and molding of what's happening in this world. I'm proud of it. It lights my soul up every time an order comes in on the wombsauna.com and somebody's purchased God medicine, because I know that's helping some women in India. I designed that in my business. I task myself with being an influencer that moves like that. I task myself with that. That when the womb sauna comes on the scene, it's a big deal and people know it's time to heal. Our hashtag is heal everything. It's gone viral multiple times. Right? And I remember the moment when Spirit dropped that in and I started using it. And I remember one of my sisters in the marketplace was like, you better register that because it's going to go off. And she was right. So if you don't even know that you can own hashtags, you can. It's not as important as it used to be, but yeah, that's a thing. My hashtag is registered to my company. When my ancestors told me to name my business the Womb Sauna, that came to me in a womb meditation. And they also whispered in the same meditation, trademark it, and it is. And so every year I get letters because now that I'm in a global marketplace and in global media publications, we've been in newspapers in Australia and all kinds of things, right? There are people in other countries trying to use the trademark. I talked to my trademark attorney, like, how do I handle this? New levels, new devils. What do I do about this? How important is it to try to send a season? And see, if you're emotionally dysregulated and temperamental, you'll let stuff like this make you waste your money. My attorney, I remember, told me, he was like, he would look at the companies. He was like, leave that company alone. It's not a threat. They're not big enough for it to even be considered a threat to the trademark. Like, I'll send them a letter, but like, we don't really need to do nothing about that. You know what I mean? Other examples. So like, I've tasked myself with a certain level of success, but it's centered and rooted in my joy. Like, I enjoy being a mogul. I enjoy being extraordinary and not just ordinary. I enjoy that the way I move and the way my energy is set up, it is polarizing, and that any space I walk into, I shift the atmosphere. That's something I cultivated. Here's another thing I was talking to my homegirl about yesterday. She was like, as I'm evolving and going through all these shifts in my life, I feel like the tone of my voice is changing. I said, oh my God, I had the same experience. Let me tell you about it. I said, sis, I used to literally pray to God to be in my voice and in my tone so that even when I speak, it begins to change the cells in people's body. I want my voice to become sound therapy. And she was like, what? I said, if you go to my YouTube channel and you look at the videos that are like 12 years old when I first got started, and you hear the tone in my voice then compared to the tone in my voice now, you'll see it. My voice got deeper, more rounded. You can feel a certain vibration when I speak. It turns my men out. They love it, right? Like, you can feel it in your body. When I speak, when I go into a certain vibration, it was so strong. I remember a few years ago, I was a part of a telesummit and we had like 300,000 attendees. And when my energy started expanding as I was serving the people, it was breaking the internet. We had to keep pausing and restarting it. I break the internet with my energy sometimes. The sisters was like, Tama, okay, look, we want you to come back next year, but you're going to have to like help your equipment channel your energy. You want to put some fluoride, some sunlight, some other things on there. Let me show you, we get these little stickers you can start putting on your devices, because it became that important. because I continue to task myself with growth and expansion and power. I like to introduce myself as raw, unapologetic power. And I'm not going to own a business and the business is weak while I say I'm powerful. If I'm powerful and I am my business, then the business got to be given power. I'm not going to call myself a healer, but the work I do is breaking things and wounding. No, I'm not going to call myself a mogul, but the way I function in my business is like an employee. 888 code. Come on in. Give me 5 days to activate you and help you. I'll train you on how to operate. I will make sure you have the infrastructure you need. You have to be prepared to make choices. This is not a feel-good training. You'll feel better after day 2, but by day 5, you have put in some real work, but it will reward you. You got to remember, the reward is not tied to your intention. There are a lot of people who leave Earth with their dreams stuck inside of them, never actualized. So having a vision is not enough. Having passion is not enough. But capacity, being able to work it and get the work done is where the reward is. The universal laws are designed to reward you for what you put in. You will always reap what you sow. It's universal law. What are you sowing into your business? What are you sowing into your own dream? How available are you really? Recently, I was talking to some of my other sisters. They was like, man, I have neglected and limited my availability to my own business by doing too many collaborations that had nothing to do with my own dream. I said, well, take your season of focusing on your shit, because it would feel terrible to waste a decade and discover that somebody else's dream is more fulfilling than yours because your dream did not have any of your attention or capacity. Ouch. That's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling. So I'm putting this on your radar. If you have not registered and you want the price of this training where it's at today, it's only going to be there until the 1st. And on 11/1, you will need to sow more into, your training. So get in there and lock in before 11/1. And class starts 11/11. Class starts 11/11. And when you go to the website to read the itinerary, so it's on there. Don't come in here. Don't get click happy. Listen, let me say this. I love my people, but I got to tell you, none of my stuff is refundable. And there's a reason. I need you to come into process with me with a certain level of intentionality. I don't want you being impulsive and using sensationalism to make this decision. Sometimes I've had to say to people, go and fast and pray about whether or not you should work with me. Come back to me in 3 days, because I don't have a high toleration level for the inner confusion. I need you to be crystal clear that you need the 888 code, you want the 888 code, and you are committing to what I'm telling you the process is to get you fully activated and to get you the business infrastructure that allow you to make money every day, whether you're awake or asleep. So don't just click, actually go see what I offer. Actually go read what I've put together, why it's here, and then click. Now, some of y'all still ain't gonna listen. You'll be like, Tamer, the live was enough for me. I know I'm in. Okay, fine. If you have instant clarity and it feels like this is what God has just dropped into your lap, I honor that. I ain't trying to negate that. But for those of you who tend to sign up for stuff that you don't implement, please, I beg, find someone else. Find someone else. I love you, but I'm not your teacher. Okay. I'm looking for the ones who have been waiting for this. I'm looking for the ones who are aligned with the vibration I bring and the 888 code. That's who I am summoning to this class. Okay. And if you have any questions, my team, we answer the phone 24/7. I don't answer it, but I have a team, live people, real people, because we have people all over the world in different time zones. You can call 888-576-9662. You can let any of my team members know that you have a question about the upcoming 888 code class. Can someone call you back? Can you speak with someone? And we will. We will. I have a whole team. I have an empire. I don't do this by myself. I would be insane to envision this level of success and impact in the world and think I could hold it all myself. I'm wise. I have great people that work with me and for me, and we take care of the world. So I invite you to really assess, why don't I have what I keep saying I want? And what do I need to do? And who do I need to become to have every day be my payday, not just be an affirmation that I'm writing in my journal, but like my reality. My reality. I love you. I hope you feel more inspired. I hope to see you in class if this truly is what you need, you know? And if you look at your bank account and it looks like, man, this might be a stretch for me, don't drop back into your scarcity mindset. Treat yourself and act like you're wealthy and act like your God can handle numbers. And if your God can't handle numbers, you should find another. Because my God can handle the numbers. And I can't walk with a God that would dangle in front of me what I need, but not give me the provisions to have it. I don't believe in that. So maybe even my pricing needs to activate more in you, because it's very reasonable pricing. So maybe even my pricing needs to activate more faith in you. And maybe that's the journey from the beginning for you, that you keep recycling this scarcity energy, but trying to simultaneously act like you're abundant. You cannot do both at the same time. Heal your duplicity, heal your inner contradictions, and even registering for the class can help you do that. Oh, ye of little faith. You don't need much to knock mountains over. Real talk. Ask me how I know. I talk about all of this in the class. I share with you everything I have learned to be in the position that I'm in of success. And I have you practice the level of success that you envision for yourself in the class. Have you practice it in real time? Because I know what that's going to do for your mind and your subconscious. I program you with the success that you envision for yourself. And we run the program for 5 days. And then once we get to the 5th day, it's encoded. It's encoded. And this is part of the reason people come and take the class over and over again, because it's an activating teaching. It's not lecture and just dropping off information. It's an activation. And some people are like, all right, I need to borrow and resource Tamer's energy to get back in flow. Yeah, I'm here. That's what I do. I keep you in the truth of your power. So I'll see y'all in class that are coming. For those of you that tuned in, have been listening to this live, thank you. If there's someone that you know that is an empowerment professional, tag them, say, hey, get filled up, get some inspiration, get some motivation from Tamer. I think this message will help you, or share it with them, repost it on your pages if this blessed you and did something for your soul. Go ahead and share the live on your pages, on your platforms, and tell people like, man, this was a blessing. And I just want to inspire y'all too. I like to make healing and empowerment contagious. That's what I do. All right. So enjoy yourself. I love you. I'll see you in class. And if I don't, and this live was what you needed, I'm glad you got some activation from it. And that's that. Peace.